What's amazing about spray foam insulation is there's so many applications that nobody's aware of, or very few people are aware of. One of those applications is concrete lifting or void filling. Today, we're going to be following Scott Todd. He's the owner of Precision Insulation and Coating. I drove out to Iowa because I'm going to start doing concrete lifting and void filling. And it's just such a unique trade. It's something that a lot of people need, not a lot of people can offer. And so that's what we're going to take you through today. Inside Lighthouse. To begin with, Scott's going to walk us through common problems in concrete flat work, areas in a home to look for, especially if it's your house and you have some concrete settling or cracking. Scott's going to go into detail on what he looks at, what we look at, and kind of the telltale signs of problems and the kind of things that we address with lifting with polyurethane foam. Also, we're going to take you through the prep process and the actual injection on this project, the first project of 3.
So this specific job was just a void fill. This water line, when they backfilled this, it didn't hold up. It kind of washed out. There was initially, when they built this and poured this slab, there was a lot of washout right here, and so we had gaps under the concrete like this. And so this was just a void fill. We weren't trying to lift this. Although we did lift this corner down here a little bit because it was dropped a good solid inch to 1.5 inches, so we lifted that a little bit, and basically just filled a huge void under this whole area here. This sidewalk had some voids as well, and this is common for new construction. You know, a lot of times it'll be so hollow under here, you just take a hammer and it doesn't sound like anything. So we built pillars of support right here. Typically a house with these types of steps will have developed cracks right here or right here, even though there's relief cuts, because this is heavy and it wants to settle, and the relief cut's not giving it the physics to flex and move like it really wants to. And there's common spots to look for as well on houses, like typically they're hollow here, they're hollow in the center, and this whole area a lot of times on new construction is hollow. Always see if the relief cut's not doing its job, or there's not enough relief cuts, you will always see hairline cracks here, and the hairline crack is an initial sign that this is going to start settling. But see this hairline crack and that's the initial sign that this up here is going to start settling. So those are just some areas to look at. That's what we did. There's support there now. We don't have to worry about any more settling in that corner. That's stable, that's solid. But a lot of times on new construction, you'll see a lot of erosion on the edges of the driveways and sidewalks because they don't get that back filled in, the dirt filled in, and the sod laid soon enough, and you just get rainwater, it'll wash it out, especially with the gutters. If they don't have the extensions on there, or if they don't have it buried under the concrete and popping out, it's gonna wash it out just like it did over here. So, the technique behind it when I lift versus void fill is totally different. So if I'm just trying to get this to lift, which we're not, because I would inject it and I would actually disconnect it for a couple seconds so that the air's not shoving it around. I could actually lift it faster, you know what I mean? So void filling, we're not even gonna disconnect it unless we hear foam coming out the sides. See this?
Yeah.
This means we've got good pressure.
Yeah.
So we know we're full there, right? So
Yeah, I'll watch it.
So watch here so that we don't shower out, okay?
So we're here on project 2 and 3. They're actually neighbors. We're gonna be doing this one that's behind me and then this one across the street. And we're gonna be lifting a few things. I'll let Scott explain what we're doing and then we'll show you the result.
All right, so what we're doing here is we're going to be lifting this front steps. Yeah, as you can see, it's dropped quite a ways. We're going to get it within code, at least within code, if not a little bit higher. But I'm drilling holes. I want to start in the middle, and I've drilled hole. We're going to drill a hole here and here as well on the side, so that if we need to adjust accordingly to the level, and which will hit these anyways. But we just want to. We're going to start in the center, and then we'll work one side or the other from there. And then of course we can go back because we're going to end up having a void back behind here. We're going to create a void, which will also fill in, and maybe even bump this up over here if this doesn't lift. So concrete has a little bit of flexibility, tensile strength, not very much. We're going to start here, then we're going to move on to some of the driveway areas and just kind of touch up some areas where things have kind of cracked and settled a little bit.
And we're off to project number 3. Project number 2 is behind me. It turned out really nice. The front stoop raised about 2 inches. Everything else raised 1.5 inches. All got level. The grade is way better. So now check this out. Just to summarize project 3, we started off with a concrete slab that was sitting slightly lower than the one next to it. This is something that a lot of driveways have happen to them. It's a void underneath, either by erosion or during the pour, it wasn't poured well. And over time, it begins to settle. It makes it really unsafe to walk over, and it makes it pretty tough to drive over as well. So we drilled the ports. You can see that in the pictures. We injected the foam, we lifted up to be level with the next slab, and you can see the final result on the walkthrough that I did after we were done and cleaned up. those type of jobs are the ones that we're going to be taking care of on a regular basis. Those are the kinds of things that I wanted to look for by going to Iowa. I'm so grateful that Scott had us out to hang out with him. He's a really good guy. If you're in Iowa and you need concrete lifting, spray polyurethane foam, polyurea, any kind of coatings, please give his company a call, Precision Insulation and Coatings. He's just a great man, and he does a great job. He cares about this stuff so much, and those kind of guys are rare. So we're thankful that you also had an opportunity to check out our journey through hanging out with another contractor. We'll plan on bringing you more stuff like this, and we'll see you next time here inside Lighthouse.